Hello guys, it's me, Katrina. I am posting this video here. I did it on July 9th, 2011, so about 10 years ago. I taped this, and it's the shocking truth about your married boyfriend. And sorry, my voice is all raspy. It is like 2:30 in the morning here, and I'm kind of winding down for the night. Okay, so here's the thing. This is like, there's two parts to this video, and it is like the most accurate, I would say, depiction of what it's like to, like the backstory of what's really going on behind the scenes when you're dating someone who's married or living with somebody or has a girlfriend and is like, and the guy is like a player and he's going around and he's demonizing the woman that he's with. And sometimes relationships are bad, but most of the time someone has to be the bad guy with a player so they can look like the good guy, because a lot of times you're not really going to be like, wow, this guy is like an abusive, manipulative psychopath. Holy shit, I should totally marry him. That's not like something that they want to portray or let you know until probably, it's too late when you hook up with them. So anyway, I'm going to play this, both parts, and yeah, so here we go. Hey you guys, it's Katrina Maria, the Potty Mouth Princess. Today we are doing a serious topic, and it is the shocking truth about your married boyfriend. Now, you're probably going, married boyfriend, that doesn't make sense. This is for the ladies out there who are the other woman, the mistress, the one, the sneaky freak, the one on the side. I'm just going to let you know why he's not leaving the woman he's with, even though he promises every time he sees you, it's over, it's done, I can't deal with her no more, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Only 1% of married men leave their wives. So there's a 99% chance, and even if the statistics are kind of skewed or whatever, even if it's like 87, whatever, give or take, percent chance that he's not going to leave and you're just going to get strung along and hurt in the end. A little bit about me. I am a psychic medium and a relationship counselor. And I have been through the ringer when it comes to relationships. I'm 34 now. When I was younger, I used to be scandalous. So I've been on all ends of the spectrum. I've been the mistress. I've been the wife figure. I've kind of done everything. And I think that I've been through so many experiences so I can make videos like this and help you now and actually know how things feel and how things look from all perspectives. So I'm not going to lie, I haven't been an angel in the past, but I would say in the past 8 years, I've been good. So, yeah. And I have like no desire. Cheating just makes me sick now. I think it's so gross. I think it's so unnecessary. And I think that people get hurt. And unfortunately, there's this like urban myth fairy tale that goes around that cheaters prosper. Like they're married to someone and they meet someone else, and all of a sudden, oh my God, it's love. They're going to be soulmates. They're going to move on and be happy. It never happened. In 2 years, in the past 2 years, I've only seen one true soulmate connection in a situation like that. And I tell you what, even in that particular situation, the two people they're real nice, lovely people. A lot of people got hurt. His children got hurt. His wife got hurt. And, now they're going to struggle with the challenges of moving on to the next phase of going public. So, I mean, this is where they're really going to test and see if they can, go through the throttle of things. But that was the only Nolo is the only situation that I've actually seen work. Other times, I mean, everyone has a story about how it's worked out. It rarely ever happens. And also, if you meet a guy who's going through a divorce,
And you start seeing him, the guy's a fucking mess when he's going through a divorce. So more than likely, he's not even ready to commit to you fully anyway. So don't think you're going to come in and be like the opposite of Captain Save a Home, Save a Gent, whatever. I mean, because it doesn't work. He's going to get strong off your energy and then leave you for someone who he deems better after you're empty. So it's like an emotional vampire situation. And if you're a masochist, I suppose it could work. Um, but really, the truth about married, the truth I want to get out to you girls is that you're doing a whole lot of work for nothing. And basically, your relationship is just one big fantasy. It has nothing to do with real life. It has nothing to do with bills, children, running a household together. It has nothing to do with any kind of real emotional attachment. I guarantee that you ladies don't see him how he really is at home. You see Mr. Wonderful, pretty much whatever he projects on you at the time and what he wants you to see him as. And more than likely it's him, 10 or 15 years ago. Yeah, probably ain't that once you get him. You're not seeing him farting, burping, just being needy, needing shit washed, whatever. You're not seeing that. You're seeing, Mr. Gentleman who takes you out and blah, blah, blah. And I can tell you that more than likely, you're not the only one. The guy that I was seeing before, I got completely tricked with that one. He was out, and his ex-girlfriend was with him in the same group that they had broken up. And he told me that his wife was out of the house, that she had moved out, she was gone, had moved on. When she wasn't, he said he didn't sleep with her, he didn't do anything. And I figured since he's out with this other woman, yeah, they're like way done if he's already had a girlfriend in the meantime. No, she was the other mistress. Okay, crazy. So it turns out that his wife was pregnant at the time, but he had already moved in with me because they moved in quick for the kill. And yeah, so I stayed with him for 6 years. Don't ask. I don't fucking know why. It's retarded. But I learned a lot, so I can make this video because he was a chronic cheater also. So I learned a lot. Like I'm like the detective of the year when it comes to this shit. But pretty much, I learned how to read patterns, decipher things, look deeper. Um, but yeah, so he basically lied. He demonized this woman for at least the first 3 years, 4 years of the relationship. And I thought she was, a fucking nightmare. I thought she was an alcoholic, terrible, everything bad. He had 2 kids, and she hated me too. And we were pretty much kept from each other on purpose, as you can see, even with the kid situation. But yeah, it was a mess. The whole thing was a fucking nightmare. And it was basically him favoring her or favoring me the whole 6 years. And me being too dumb not to realize what was going on. I needed this video 6 years ago. So, or how many years ago. So whatever. What married guys are generally, they're selfish when they're out cheating. Some of them are sex addicts. And what they do is they target women who are sympathetic or the competitive type. Now, the competitive type are always fun. The sympathy chicks, oh, poor guy. His wife is mean to him. His wife beats him. His wife's an alcoholic. His wife is this. His wife is that. All this other shit. Yet, he's with her. And he's married her. And he's not leaving. And she leaves him because she finds out about you, but he's still begging to get her back. You really got to question whether or not she's all the things that he says. And you also got to wonder too, especially if you're the competitive type, because eventually it becomes the game, when you being better and you being jealous and kind of consumed with all this shit. Take yourself out of the game because the prize is not something cute. You know what your prize is going to be? Taking her place and then actually being the one sitting at home while he's lying to you about being in a nightclub or at work or wherever the fuck he goes. I mean, and you're gonna get cheated on too, because by the time he's gotten you, he's skilled at it. So, and so just trust me, what you see isn't what you get, and it's not cool. But what they do is they just demonize the wife, and what's going to happen when you're seeing this married man or someone who lives with someone, or it's all the same, and you think he's got it bad, you're going to try to make his day even better, and you're going to like be real sexy and want to do everything for him and blah blah blah. Well, 9 times out of 10, he's going home and ignoring the wife or just being an asshole to the wife or whatever because you're around. But she's working hard too because she doesn't know what the fuck is going on with her man. And it's not cute. And if you think that you're not actively part as a mistress of destroying another person, you are. Directly, indirectly, especially if you're one of them like trifling sluts that already know that he's living with someone or he's married to someone. That's not cool. It's not cute. So, you're not getting away with anything. You really are just a fantasy. You're a delusion. So, I mean, he really doesn't even know that much about you either. Because honestly, when I was a mistress, all I know is that, we had our time together and it was always fun. They were always happy to see me. Everything was real cool. But then when the real life shit started, after we moved in together, it dissipates quick because it's not real. There's no foundation there. And the reason I'm going to tell you right now that he's not going to leave that woman is because in his mind, he knows that the bullshit that he has with you is just a fucking fantasy. That if he really did unmask and show who he was, you wouldn't stick around either. So as long as you are feeding his narcissism and his need to feel good about himself and see himself in that light, that his wife knows is a complete fucking fraud and knows that that's not him, she knows him for real. And the thing with the wife, she has a foundation with him, a home, real emotional attachment. And if he says that he's not having sex with her, he is. Because, I mean, it happens. So don't think that you're the only one that he's messing with. The wife, and I'm sure if he's out scrounging for ass, he's got other ones besides you, and I'm sure he keeps all of them compartmentalized. So don't think you're special. You're not special. And then another thing with married men is sometimes they have Madonna-whore complexes. And that's where they see their wives as like the Madonna, the untouchable one, the one that they can't do vile, kind of nasty shit with. This happens a lot with the sex addicts and the narcissist. And what they do with the Madonna-whore complex is they tear down the wife emotionally and they don't have sex with her. They make her feel like she's ugly, like there's something wrong with her. And they make her feel like she's not sexy enough or whatever. And even if the wife does try to wear lingerie or do whatever rumored shit the dude's into, he can't even fathom it with her because it's so compartmentalized in their brain that it just doesn't work. So then they go out and they sleep with these whores or women that they deem as whores. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are one, it just means you're a victim of these psychos. But yeah, and then they do all kinds of weird shit with them and basically treat them better than they treat the wife at home. And it's a no-win situation the whole way around because the wife really wants to try, but it just doesn't, yeah. And she ends up feeling bad, and he ends up winning because he's got women around him that basically do anything for him. It's like, being a king, everything's a phone call away. And with the whole adult friend finders, all those kind of websites and shit. I mean, the Ashley Madison's made for married people that want to cheat with each other. Well, why even be married? What's the point of being married? Just be fucking single. Are you that fucking mentally deranged that you get off on fucking other married people? So if you're single, it's not as cute. So you're actively hurting somebody else. Not cool. But yeah, and then there's also the disease factor too. I mean, you can catch diseases, and he could bring a disease home to his wife. It's not Not fun. Um, but yeah, so they talk about men being appreciated. That's why they cheat. They don't feel appreciation. Normally, it's not about sex. I think it can go both ways. I think that there are legitimate sex addicts out there, and guys that are not appreciated. But just because you're not appreciated doesn't mean that you have the right to go fuck something or someone or whatever something. Uh, but yeah, let me see. Um, and then also, mistress says, you're a secret for a reason. He brings his wife in public, and he brings his wife around important members of his family, specifically female members. Now, if you were that important, he would get rid of her soon, like soon after meeting. And then, oh,
Okay, so this is part two, but I'd like to put an addendum in because at the time, 10 years ago, I was not aware of the role that female family members played in helping male family members cheat. They're like integral in it. And Spiritual Whistleblower has really, really good information about how the mothers and the sisters, especially if they come from like a narcissistic family structure, and most of the guys that kind of pull this kind of nonsense do come from that type of background. Um, I know that in one case, the mother, in a recent case, the mother would run a smear campaign with the son, telling people in the neighborhood and anyone who would listen that I have married lovers in the neighborhood and I'm a whore and my dog is vicious and like just blatant, complete and total lies, exaggerations. The things that came back to me were so crazy, like the level of insanity. Like I'm a gold digger. I was trying to steal somebody's house. Everything was a complete and total lie, and it could be easily proven that it was a lie. And a lot of times that they'll have like a sister and a mother who will basically welcome in a mistress to hurt the current wife or girlfriend. And it's just kind of trying to see if you're also a narcissist and will play their games. So, but it's pretty crazy. All right, here's part two.
hey guys, it's me. My videotape, my my webcam just stopped. It was like God, like, oh, you're telling too much. So yeah, what do you call it? So I am going to continue with my thought of you're a secret for a reason. Men that are married generally bring their wives out in public around their family. They're not a secret. They don't lie about them existing. The fact that you are in the position of a mistress means that you're selling yourself short. Well, and if you're like a mistress where you don't care and you're not trying to get in the house and break up a marriage or whatever, you just like you know or whatever. Okay, that's different. I'm talking about the girls that actually think it's going to go somewhere, the delusional ones. Here to break some bubbles. So, okay. Um, Now, if he doesn't bring you around his mother, sisters, any important family members, stuff like that, and he denies that you exist, he denies that, he doesn't engage in activity that would, lead to infidelity or whatever, that means that more than likely you're never going to be in the spotlight because you're like a dirty secret. You're the secret that he actually does cheat and he is not what he says he is, blah, blah, blah. Which means, and most of those guys are, their their feelings are pretty shallow anyway, so it's not like it's going to go super deep or anything. So they'll discard you and then find someone, eventually more suitable after the wife leaves, if he ever does leave the wife. 9 times out of 10, the wife has to leave the situation instead of the guy. Because they'll stick around and just kind of, take whatever affection and love that he can get from her, plus anyone else who will give it to him. But yeah, so yeah. And then another thing for the mistresses, don't believe everything that you hear that comes out of the man's mouth, because he really is looking for sympathy. Women who are sympathetic, they work hard. And they're going to work hard, and he knows you're going to work hard to try to please him and make him happy and do whatever he wants and blah, blah, blah. And it's just, don't do it. If you find that you're alone on your birthday, you're alone on holidays, if you're alone, when you really like him to be around, and if you're sick, you can't just call your boyfriend up and say, hey, babe, I'm sick. Will you come take me to the hospital? Will you do this? No, it's got to be fucking orchestrated, because he's got to keep the lie going with the wife and kids and family and all that shit. So, basically, you're giving all of yourself to someone who only gives you maybe 25%. If that. I mean, because you don't even know how many other bitches he's got on the line, too. So, I mean, yeah. So, and then if by the strange chance he does leave, I'm going to tell you the truth about what's really going to happen after the wife goes away. You're going to take her place. And you'll be moved in quickly, because generally guys that won't like to not have a woman in the house, because we do a lot of cool shit. Cook, clean, do dishes, all that stuff. And you basically are going to be the glorified housekeeper soon. So, I mean, he may move you in, act like he wants you around all the time. No, he just needs a bitch to, hold the clothes. And then you will be.
Okay, I want to also add an addendum to this. 10 years ago, I was not aware of the phenomenon of male gold diggers. So a lot of times what I'm learning about now is that there are men who purposely go after women with better jobs. See, I come from like a Mediterranean background with like housewives and stuff. So I would cook and clean and do all that stuff. Well, now I'm learning about men that purposely go after women who they can allegedly go 50-50 with, financially, but really what they want is to have a 50-50 relationship, percentage of money, so they have more money to go and spend on their mistresses. Because if they have to basically take care of a household, then they don't have as much money to play with. So what they're trying to do is maintain and even extend the lifestyle that they have as players. So be really careful about even combining your finances with some of these guys. If they complain that the woman that they're with doesn't make enough money, doesn't contribute enough money, blah, blah, blah. Find out too if he's not sabotaging her work to control her. Find out, more about the background of what actually was going on in the household, before you jump to, oh, I'll save him, I'll go 50-50. It may also be the fact that he just needs more money to go spend on his own extracurriculars. So, okay, we'll continue.
Put into the Madonna position, and then he will go out and fuck whores. And you might get into it for a year and realize, oh, Katrina's wrong. She's wrong. I'm never wrong about this. Never. Unless you're a fucking unicorn, it's a pattern that's gone on for ages, centuries, forever. So, but yeah, so I don't know. And then you also get a guy that you know is a cheater, who you know is not trustworthy. Because, I mean, think about it. What do you really think you're getting when you're out with a guy who is lying to his wife, and you're sitting next to him while he's on the phone lying? And then sometimes I've even had cases of people I talk to and friends and, shit, where he'll be on the phone with his wife and make up a completely different conversation. making her look crazy right in front of you when it never actually fucking happened that way. So you're like, so he's getting off the phone all crazy and, oh, that bitch, whatever. When actually nothing was ever said except, hey, dinner's going to be done at 6 o'clock. And then all of a sudden she's pressuring him, all this other shit. No, it's because he's out doing dirty. So, I don't know. I mean, it really can't be anything substantial. And you're really just getting scraps. And I don't know. I mean, if this is my advice, if you're dating someone who's married or lives with someone or is, occupied by another person, I wouldn't do it. I mean, it's not going to lead to anywhere, especially if you think you're meeting your soulmate or your knight in shining armor. You know what? Tell him, if you really want to be with me, break up with your wife. Call me when you're ready. End that, and then he can be with you fully. And if he is anyone of any kind of integrity, he'll do that. But I'm telling you, 99%, 9 times out of 10, well, 90%, they don't do that. And if they do, I mean, you're not getting a prize. You're just getting a big pile of shit half the time. And it's going to be a rude awakening when things, happen. And it's also going to be a rude awakening for him, too. Because, every time you see him, you're all glammed up, you're pretty, you're happy, you're excited. Okay, but when you live together, I mean, that you can't sustain that forever. And he's eventually going to see the real you and realize that there's cracks in your foundation, too. See what you look like without your makeup. When you're, got your period, you're all fucking bloated and crabby and shit. And, and just having a bad day or whatever. I mean, he's going to see all that. He's not going to see this happy-go-lucky. And it's going to be a rude awakening for both. But I guess, if that's what it comes down to, and then while you're taking over for the wife that left doing all the, cunt work that she did, she's going to be out dating, having a good time. Her life is going to be much better. So you actually, by hurting her, you've done her a favor. Because then she didn't have to deal with that shit anymore. So, I mean, there's just a lot that goes into it. Personally, I just think you're selling yourself short. Find someone who's available. Find someone who can give you the love that you need. Because, stealing people's husbands and boyfriends, it never ends well. A relationship that starts on a lie always ends on a lie. And, yeah, there are women out there that are legitimately fooled in these situations, and I'm not calling them whores, because these guys will lie about everything. They lie about their age, they lie about whether or not they have kids, they lie about where they're from, they lie about everything because they can be whoever they want to be with a new woman. Then once the facade kind of cracks, and then you realize, wait a minute, wait, that's not what you said, that kind of shit. Well, he'll get rid of you immediately and then move on to another victim. I mean, these guys they're pathological. So there's a lot of them out there too, especially on the internet. So you want to watch out on the internet, on Match.com, eHarmony, all the shit, because it's like a predator's playland. So a lot of these guys are married, and you just kind of have to, watch out. And I'm going to do a series after this in our video also on how to know if he's married and lying to you, and how to know if he's like an internet predator or some kind of like, bullshit asshole artist of some sort. So, I don't know. Well, I hope this is helpful. This is part 2. But yeah, so, I don't know, my little chickens. I will talk to you later, and leave feedback. Let me know what you think of the video. Bye. Be lucky. Mwah.